keen ears of the rabbits had heard frost-footed centipedes on the march. With the Warrens' defenses in tatters, they turned to the warden for aid. Fish still flapping on the ground, but no sign of the fisherman. The culprit soon revealed itself. The rearing frost death march. The rabbit was hanging on by a whisker, but before Arlo could save him, the beast was on him.
Yeah, that's a nice blade.
As Arlo approached the statue, the familiar pulse of energy began to buzz throughout his body. From his tail to his whiskers, Arlo felt stronger than he had ever done before.
What a nice looking cathedral. The cathedral.
Arlo was amazed at the ingenuity of moles. This one immediately put the creature's blue blood to good use, offering a hearty reward for the warden's bravery. The mole sobbed at his empty paint pot. He was moved at the warden of the Wastes offer to risk his life to bring him paint. Arlo was sure that's not what he'd said. But the mole explained this blue pigment was found only in the blood of an iceworm. worms had been seen again. But these ones emerged not from mud, but from the ice, and were said to be big enough to swallow the warren whole.
I like how the sword's just smacking the ground.
The rabbit bounding toward him was exhausted and panicked. Between his frantic breaths, Arlo made out the words, ice worms and village walls. Outside the village walls, the wind turned ice cold. The ground shook, and from beneath the frozen tundra burst the giant ice worm. The ice worm had escaped for now. Arlo knew he could not rest. This creature would return if he did not finish his hunt. Pursued the great ice worm to the peaks of White Whisker, and in the shadow of Mount Cauldron, it fell at last. The rabbits of the warren.
What? I can see all the trophies now.
We're safe.
I'm not trying to complete all the trophies. Let's sketch for the ones I can get while I'm playing the game. It's like
The mole was delighted to have paint again, and set about decorating his soldiers once more. Arlo suspected it was near time he returned to his own.
I think with the hunts, you got to do a lot of them when you beat the game, so you can't have to beat the game and just run them out afterwards.
Arlo could not sleep a whisker. He wished more than anything that his father were here to tell him what to do. The nervous chatter silenced at Arlo's entrance. He did not sweeten the truth. The Darkwing numbers grew. They would return, and Winter's Edge could not stop them alone. He called Robin forward. Arlo was raised on tales of how the North could not rely on Southern kings. But he was desperate. The Ranger was sure King Redgi would prove different. Ordering the council to prepare for war, they set course for the Crimson Keep. The Crimson Keep's dock was the greatest Arlo had seen. Robin explained it was built by master craftsmoles. He laughed, telling Arlo how ratfolk believed their king paid them by fighting huge warrior moles in an underground arena. The King card. A rare card indeed. Although rare, its qualities are not always positive. The Smith card. Highly sought after for its ability to change the qualities of other cards. The King's steward, Doug, stopped them before the throne room. He started at the news of war, and then rushed away, muttering about how the armor would need to be polished. Dennis, the King's brother, was also curious to see this northerner. Dennis missed war. He could plainly see by Arlo's expression that was the Warden's task. He hoped they could fight together someday.
Isn't King Redgi from the first game? Man, this castle's changed so much if that's the case.
Arlo was nervous to meet this king. He hoped Redgi lived up to all he'd heard from Robin. He did not have to wait long. King Redgi was glad to see his old friend Robin was safe, and bid him to tell his tale. Robin told of the death of his son by the ferocious Darkwings, and begged the king prepare his forces to go north. Redgi was sad at the loss of Little John, but said that was not reason enough for the South to join a northern war. The king wished them well, and turned to go. Arlo stepped forward, asking what the king would do when there was no Winter's Edge to shield the South. If they sent no help now, the Darkwings would not stop at their borders. Redgi listened to Arlo tell his tale. It brought back terrible memories of a father lost and a land left in ruin. A tale not unlike this young warden's. He held out his paw in friendship. King and warden, united, could stop any foe. The southern ratfolk would not simply leave the warmth of their homes for frozen lands they had never seen. A trial by combat would prove his worth. Arlo agreed. He would do whatever it took. News had spread swiftly. As Redgi led them to the tournament grounds, the streets were already full. Villagers craned their necks to see their warrior king and this strange northern challenger.